We are back. What is going on, YouTube? I am your host, Lawrence, over at Mighty Comics and Collectibles, and today, of course, is the Hot 10 Comics of the Week breakdown, where I take the 10 hottest comics according to the Key Collector app, and I break them down for everyone out there, telling you which books to buy, at which grades, and of course, the price. But before we get started in the video, like always, I remind you guys, if you're not a current sub of the channel, do yourself a favor, hit that sub button, smash the like button for this guy right here. And one other thing, I want to give a big shout out to Chris over at We Love Comics. He's always shouting me out on his channel, so I figure I return the favor. What's going on, Chris? Check his channel out. With that said, let's get into this week's breakdown. Starting it off this week at number 10 is Daredevil number 1. The first appearance of Matt Murdock and Daredevil, of course. This is the 6th week in 2025 that Daredevil number 1 has made the Hot 10 list. We had 4 sales outsell the average this week, with the highest being a CGC 5.5, selling for $3,699, but only up 1% over the average. Next up, a CGC 4.0 sale for $3,800, up an insane 42% over the average. And lastly, a CGC 2.0 selling for $2,225, up another crazy 33% over the average. You guys know this is a big Silver Age key, probably the most affordable Silver Age key from the Marvel side. I definitely want to own this book, but there's hype still surrounding Daredevil Born Again. If you could wait a little bit to hold off to buy this book, that's what I'd be doing. But overall, if you're a long-term holder, I'm definitely a buyer. Still on this list at number 9 this week is Daredevil number 131, the first appearance and origin of Bullseye. We had a massive 7 sales break the average this week, with the highest being a CGC 9.2, selling for only $525, but up 19% over the average. Next up, we had a CGC 8.5 sale for $380, up again 35% over that average. And lastly, a CGC 8.0 selling for $270 and only up 5% over the average. This is the 6th time Bullseye has made the list since the premiere of Daredevil Born Again. I'm going to say ditto to what I just said about Daredevil number 1 is now the best time to be buying it. I would have said about 2 years ago when this series got announced, that's when I would have been a buyer. If you don't already own the book, you probably could have had a 9.0 for around $150 to $200. Now it's going for a little bit more. But yes, 100% I want to own the book. Just find the right copy and don't overpay for what it is right now. Another mainstay makes the list at number 8. It is Invincible number 1, the first appearance of Invincible. There are 10,800 copies deemed to be ordered by retailers of Invincible number 1. The high sale this week was a solid CGC 9.6, selling for $2,650, up a crazy 53% over the average. Next up, we had a CGC 9.4 selling for $2,025, up a more crazy 75% over the average. Man, this book is hot. And lastly, 3 copies outsold the average at a 9.0, with the highest being $1,025 and only up 2% over the average. This is the 3rd time Invincible number 1 has made the Hot 10 list. You guys know I love this book. In fact, all Invincible books right now are crazy on fire. If you go check out the Key Collector's runners-up list, this week was full of Invincible keys. So yes, screaming hot. But right now, again, like Daredevil number 1 and 131 is now the time to be buying this book. With the Amazon Prime show taking off, I'm going to say no. If you own this book already, I might think about selling if you don't want to hold on to this book for the long term. So right now, I'm staying away. Back to the Bronze Age at number 7, and this is the biggest Bronze Age key there is. It is Incredible Hulk number 181, the first appearance of Wolverine. 6 copies outsold the average this week, with the highest being a CGC 9.4, selling for a whopping $10,500, but only up 1% over the average. Next up, a CGC 8.5 sale, selling for $5,200, but again, only up 2% over the average. And lastly, a CGC 6.0 selling for $3,150, up 8% over the average. And don't forget about the huge Mark Jewelers sale this week that was featured on the Tuesday's Top 10 Runners-Up list, a must-watch every week. With that said, guys, you know I want to own this book, but I always say it's now the right time. I think it's now or never. I'm not going to lie to you guys. This book has consistently come down over the past 3 years or so and is still pulling back. If If you're going to own this book for the long term and you're a big Wolverine fan, it is a must own, so I'm giving this book a thumbs up. Speaking of Wolverine and the Bronze Age, at number 6 this week is Giant Size X-Men number 1. The first team appearance of the new X-Men team, and this is also what many people would call the second appearance of Wolverine. 5 sales broke the average this week, with the highest being a CGC 8.5 selling for $3,419, up 4% over the average. Next up, a CGC 6.5 sale for only $2,000, up 6% over the average. And lastly, a CGC 4.0 selling for $1,251, up 4% over the average. This is the third week Giant Size X-Men 1 has made the Hot 10 list. With that said, to me this is a premier issue, a must-own book if you're an X-Men fan. This book is another one that has come down tremendously over the past 3 years, but it's one I definitely want to own for the long term. In fact, I always tell you, I want to own this book in a completely white copy with phenomenal colors in the highest grade you possibly can. I'm giving it a thumbs up. Just make sure you want to own this book for the long term. Back to the Silver Age at number 5 was one of my favorite books of all time. It is Iron Man number 1, the first ongoing title series featuring Iron Man. This is also the origin of Iron Man. 9 sales broke the average this week, with the highest being a CGC 9.0 selling for $2,195, but up 21% over the average. Next up, we had a CGC 8.5 sale for $1,625, up 6% over the average. And lastly, a CGC 6.5 selling for $733, up 11% over the average. 3 copies outsold the average in a 6.5. I told you at the start of this one, I want to own Iron Man number 1, but I don't want to overpay for it. There are a lot of copies of this book out there, but to me, this is one of the more inexpensive Silver Age keys you could buy, the big premier issue. So yes, between $400 to $500 and the best grade possible, that's what I want to spend, but I am a buyer. Oh boy, at number 4 this week is the book that has been on this list forever. It is Amazing Spider-Man number 300, the first full appearance of Venom. The most graded book by CGC had an insane amount of sales this week that broke the yearly average, the highest being a CGC 9.8 selling for $2,950 and up 10% over the average. This is the 4th week in a row that Amazing Spider-Man number 300 has made the Hot 10 list. You guys know I want to own this book, but there are an absurd amount of copies out there, graded and still raw. So to me, if you're going to buy a 9.8, make sure you want to hold it for the long term. Any other grade that you want to buy, I prefer getting a raw copy. To me, I think it's always a better deal. You will always get a better deal on raw books, especially when we're talking about this one. Just make sure the colors are great. But to me, it's a must-own. Just don't overpay for it. Another movie book makes the list at number 3. It is Fantastic Four number 49, the first full appearance of Galactus and the second appearance of the Silver Surfer. 7 copies outsold the average this week, with the highest being a CGC 7.0 selling for $1,226 and up 3% over the average. Next, we have a CGC 6.5 sale for $950 and up 10% over the average. And lastly, a CGC 5.0 selling for $585 and up 2% over the average. This is the 5th time in 2025 the FF49 is ranked on the Hot 10 breakdown. I'm going to tell you guys this. How come anybody didn't buy this book like 4 to 5 years ago when we finally got the announcement that Fox was selling to Disney? That's when this book should have been bought and it went to the moon. Now it's back down where it should be, and it's starting to get hot again because we're finally going to see Galactus and the Silver Surfer appear in Fantastic Four First Steps. Is it too late to buy this book? I would say why go out and buy it right now? Wait for all the hype to die down, especially if they beat Galactus in this film, which I assume they will. Then I would go ahead and buy the book after it drops in price. You want to talk about a book that's been on this list forever? Thank God it is a book that I absolutely love. At number 2, it is Amazing Spider-Man number 129. The first appearance of the Punisher, Frank Castle. This is also the first appearance of the Jackal, and an iconic cover by Gil Kane, an underappreciated artist, and my favorite, John Romita Sr. The high sale this week was a CGC 9.6, selling for $6,750, up 8% over the average. Then we had a CGC 8.5 sale for $2,500, up 22% over the average. And finally, a CGC 7.5 selling for $1,899 and up 29% over the average. One of the hottest comics on the market right now, with Amazing Spider-Man number 129 appearing on the list 12 out of 15 weeks. in 2025. You guys know I want to own this book. I say it time and time again. One of my favorite characters, one of my favorite covers by one of my favorite artists. To me, it's always going to be a buy, but a lot of copies out there. So just make sure you get the right copy for what you want to pay for the long term. Finally, out of nowhere, at the top spot this week is Batman number 423, an iconic cover by the great Todd McFarlane. It's rare these days that we get a classic cover take the top spot on this list. The high sale was a CGC 9.8 for a crazy $2,000 and up 18% over the average. We also had 3 other sales in a 9.8 that outperformed the yearly average. One for $16.99, one for $17.40, and one for $18.75. The disparity in price for 9.8 copies is really out of whack in my opinion, so just make sure you're doing your due diligence. We also had a CGC 9.6 selling for only $475 and 14% over the average. I gotta be honest with you, that crazy price difference between a 9.6 and a 9.8, hell, if you can get a 9.6 for under $500 and you want to own this book, go for it. To me, I don't think this book is worth $500 or $2,000 in my opinion. I like to own a raw copy, a first print. If I can get it for like $250 or $300, that's in my wheelhouse. Maybe I could press it and come up with some cash to get that book to a 9.8. That's just my preference. Other than that, I'd rather put the money towards a better book. So that's it for the list this week, guys. I hope you enjoyed this one. Again, a lot of big keys on this list, a lot of books that I'd be buying if I don't already own them or haven't owned them in the past. But me right now, what I'm buying are not big keys. I'm looking for obscure books. I'm looking for books that not a lot of people know about, maybe some Golden Age stuff that I can get for cheap still, or some unknown books or some error books. That's really what's in my wheelhouse. But other than that, guys, these books are major keys and should be owned. They just need to be owned for the right price in this market. It is now time for my best buy of the week, and this was a really hard choice. Normally, I'd go ASM number 129, but right now, this book is on fire. I'm going with Giant Size X-Men number 1, but like I said before, the color's got to be great, the white's got to be white, and I want the highest grade possible for the least amount of money. Hope you guys enjoyed the list. This is Lawrence over at Mighty Comics and Collectibles saying thank you for watching, happy collecting, and I'll talk to you guys soon.